Hello, my name is Noah Breeden.
And I'm Whitney. Happy Halloween and welcome back to Inside College Football.
We'll kick off today's show with a recap of FBS Top 25 matchups from last weekend.
Starting with last week's ABC Game of the Week, number 16 LSU traveled to number 10 ranked Texas A&M. LSU went at halftime leading 17-7, but A&M rallied to come back 38-23.
The Aggies started the game with Connor Wakeman, who went 6 for 18 with only 64 passing yards. They then decided to bench him for freshman quarterback Marcel Reed, who only threw the ball twice but threw for 70 yards, and he carried the ball 9 times for 62 yards and got in the end zone 3 times on the ground.
Number 13 ranked IU hosted unranked Washington in front of their sold-out home crowd. The game started with a 3-and-out by both offenses, and on Washington's second drive drove down to IU territory and threw a pick six to D'Angelo Pons.
Backup Taven Jackson stepped up in replace of Curtis Rourke, who's recovering from thumb surgery. Jackson went 11 for 19 with 124 passing yards. Jackson had 1 passing touchdown with 1 interception. Rourke is expected to return this week to play at Michigan State. Kickoff time set for 3:30 p.m.
Looking ahead to Week 10 Friday night, unranked San Diego State travels to number 15 ranked Boise State.
Then looking ahead to Saturday at noon, unranked Air Force travels to number 21 Army, and then at 3:30, number 1 Oregon takes on Michigan, as well as number 17 Kansas State travels to Houston, and then later that night at 8 p.m., number 18 Pittsburgh is going to be taking on number 20 SMU.
Now looking at college football playoff impact game of the week, at noon, number 3 ranked Penn State hosts number 4 ranked Ohio State. Penn State comes to this game at 7-0. Penn State beat Wisconsin last week 28-13. Looking at Ohio State, they come into this game sitting at 6-1. Their only loss coming from number 1 ranked Oregon. Last week, Ohio State played Nebraska and won 21-17 in a nail-biter.
In recap of last week's scores around the state, we saw Indiana State take down Southern Illinois, despite quarterback Elijah Owens only throwing for 78 yards with a touchdown and an interception.
This win from Indiana State came after heading into the locker room down at half 17-0 and rallying to 20 unanswered points. A big contributor to this comeback was QB Elijah Owens rushing for 119 yards and a touchdown.
Butler traveled to North Carolina to take on Davidson College, and they won the shootout 48-38 despite a poor passing game.
QB Reagan Andrew only threw for 112 yards with an interception, but he looked excellent on the ground running for 98 yards on 2 touchdowns.
Ball State took on the Northern Illinois Huskies with a close 25-23 finish on Saturday. Ball State will need to go 4-1 closing out their season to have a chance to be bowl eligible.
Franklin College kept it close in a shootout with Mount St. Joseph, but ended up falling behind, losing 46-43 on Alumni Day.
And looking ahead to Saturday, Purdue takes on Northwestern at home, kicking off at noon. Number 10 ranked in D3 DePaul travels to Ohio to face Kenyon at 1 p.m. and Franklin College hosts Anderson at 1:30.
That's all we have for today. Make sure to tune in next Thursday for College Football Insight. Go Grizzlies!